Hello, and welcome back to Wine Reform. Today, we go south. That's right, we're going to Argentina. Today, we are going to be exploring the growing poster child for Argentinian wines, Torrontés. But before we get started, if you plan on sticking around, maybe checking out another video, which you totally should because they're pretty cool and you might learn some stuff, then you should definitely hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. It'll let you know when I release a video, so you don't have to go hunting for it or wondering if I'm ever going to release a video again. Oh, and if by the end of the video you appreciate what you saw, maybe you learned something new, or you just, I don't know, think I'm cool, then you should definitely hit that thumbs up button, that's what it's called, and you know, it'll help me know I'm doing something right, so greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's actually get to the fun part. Let's talk about wine. So Torrontés has actually quickly overtaken plantings in Argentina, becoming a third of white grape plantings in the country. Torrontés is a white grape that's got huge berries and thick skins, and it's prone to early ripening. So it's most often grown in very high altitude climates, especially along the edge of the Andes. In fact, one of the most prominent regions for Torrontés is Cafayete within the Calchaquí Valley within the region of Salta. The coolness from the altitude really allows the grape to, well, develop that high acidity, and the dry desert-like climate helps prevent mildew from growing, which, by the way, Torrontés is very susceptible to it. Believe it or not, there are actually 3 types of Torrontés. Torrontés Sanjuanino, Torrontés Mendocino, and Torrontés Riojano. The most common planting is that Torrontés Riojano. In general, Torrontés is a light and very fresh wine. However, the style can really range from those perfumey white florals to citrus to tropical fruits and even some notes of minerality. The 3 Torrontés that I just mentioned are all native to Argentina. They were born there. When Spanish settlers brought the Moscatel de Alejandría and the Criolla Chica, the 2 plantings actually intermingled and they created those 3 sisters of Torrontés. It wasn't actually until 1989 when the Torrontés were finally recognized as being completely unique grapes born in Argentina. So something else that I thought would be really cool to mention is how the growing season differs. So because Argentina is in the southern hemisphere, the growing season is exactly opposite what it is in the northern hemisphere. So the northern growing season is from April to October, but in the southern hemisphere, the growing season is from October to April. And this means that wines from the southern hemisphere are about 6 months older than wines from the northern hemisphere. P.S. that took me way too long to figure out. I'm ashamed to tell you how long it took, so I suggest looking at a circular calendar to try to puzzle out that one. But, information aside, today we are trying Alamos 2017 Torrontés from Salta. So Alamos is actually more known for their Malbec from Mendoza. So it was kind of interesting to me when I found a white wine from Salta, which is far north of Mendoza. However, the one thing that they both have in common is that they are from wine-growing regions along the Andes. In all honesty, I really couldn't find a lot on Alamos Torrontés. They talk a lot more about their Malbec. They don't really mention their Torrontés. So the most I could find on it were reviews or reviews from other people on Wine Searcher and Vivino, for example, or Drizzly, or, you know, wine.com and all that good stuff. Either way, not a lot of info from Alamos themselves. So this should be a fun discovery. Now, once again, I went to my local liquor outlet and I spent $10.99 before tax on this wine. So not a bad price at all. In fact, I really am pretty excited because I think it should be fun to show that you can get an interesting wine for not that much money, but let's see. Brief information aside, let's actually open up this Torrontés and give it a try. Did you see that? I didn't spill. Now that we are going to evaluate the wine, the first thing we do is we look at it. We're gonna be looking for color and intensity and clarity. So I've got my handy dandy white sheet of paper and we're gonna give it a look-see. Okay, how is it that I keep picking all these hella fresh looking wines? Like, I swear, I have barely had any whites that don't go past the color intensity of pale and the color yellow, like lemon yellow. How is it possible? Why do I keep picking all these? Is it the millennial in me? Like, I'm not a millennial. I'm actually a zillennial, but I guess I got a little bit of both. Is it the youngster in me that keeps picking all these light, fresh wines? Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking at it now. Intensity, hella light. That is honestly so pale, almost watery looking. And the color is a lemon yellow, very crisp looking, and that clarity is perfecto. That sounded kind of gringo. That clarity is perfecto. It is honestly impeccable, and I love it. Now that we have given it a look-see and established that this is a very pale, light-bodied wine, let's give it a sniff. Also known as evaluating the nose. Nose being like your nose, your nostrils. So we're gonna see what kind of aromas we can pick out of it, how intense is that aroma, just see what we can learn about the wine through our nostrils. Let's give it a sniff. Ooh. Oh, that smells num-num. Num-num, who the hell says that? I do, apparently. So this Torrontés smells amazing. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a blend of a couple of the three, or all of the three, and I have a feeling it's very strongly Torrontés Riojano, because the nose is so fruity. Like, it really smells amazing. Yeah, it just smells so good. I was getting right away, lychee was the first thing that I smelled, which was incredible. I really do. I personally love lychee. I think it has the most amazing texture and flavor. I love tropical fruits, so that was really awesome to smell. So I got lychee, and then I got a freesia, very strong freesia, and then gardenia, and then mango, and then blood orange. I was honestly blown away at how floral and fruity this wine smelled. And the intensity was medium, which was more than I was expecting out of such a light wine. So that was really cool. Yeah, I'm already here for it. This is really exciting for me because tropical fruits, I love them. I really do. So now that we have given it a sniff, we are gonna go ahead and evaluate the palate. That means we're gonna taste it. We're gonna see if we can taste everything we smelled and what other things we can learn about the wine by swishing it around our mouth. So let's give it a sip. Cheers. All right, not what I was expecting, but still good. So, given the price point, I think it makes a little bit more sense now though. First of all, I could taste everything I smelled. Fantastico, love it. But this is where it gets interesting. After it being light-bodied, it is light-bodied. Now this is where it gets interesting. Medium acidity. Perhaps I have a higher tolerance for things that make you pucker, but it felt medium to me. Medium alcohol was how it felt, but it's at 13%, which I normally would consider high for a white wine, but this felt medium to me. Interesting. Third of all, medium finish, which is very pleasant. When I can get a medium finish out of a white wine, at least, I'm very happy. So it was off dry, which I found interesting. I thought maybe at first I was just confusing all those tropical fruit sort of characteristics with sweetness. After a few more sips, I don't think that was the case. I really do think this one is off dry. Because of that, I have a very strong feeling that this was grown a little bit lower in altitude than the peak Torrontés. No pun intended. So that was really interesting. However, I will say I enjoyed it. I do think that for the price point, it is a really awesome wine. I also like that it's got that little twisty top. So if you're ever out or you forget a wine key, or you know you're gonna be somewhere where someone you're gonna bring a wine to does not have a wine key, bring them a twisty top. They'll love it. So this wine, while being not what I expected, probably not the truest expression of Torrontés, it was very good. So if you're someone who likes spicy food, then definitely this would work extremely well with that. I personally love spicy food. I was raised on Cuban food and Mexican food and just any sort of Latin food. I was raised on that stuff. I love it. And so, yes, this works with spicy. It honestly makes me want to have things like empanadas, which is very Argentinian. I love empanadas. I could eat it with that. And I think it would also work very well with things like Thai food, because a lot of or Thai food or even Korean food, a lot of those foods can be very spicy as well, so I think it'd be very good. But yeah, it was delicious. So if you're looking for maybe something to have instead of having like a Gewürztraminer or a Riesling, you want to try something a little different, I think finding an off-dry Torrontés would be your best bet for pairing a wine with your favorite spicy foods. Very delicious. Honestly, this just makes me want empanadas right now. Like, I freaking love empanadas, and I'm an adult. I can get myself empanadas if I want them. Yeah, I want empanadas. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Wine Reform. It is always a blast getting to share these wines around the world. I think the price range varying so much between different kinds of wines from different regions just goes to show that you don't have to be rich to try a lot of different cool things. So there are so many Latin countries around the world with their own amazing, unique, delicious cuisine. So is there a Latin dish that you're particularly fond of? I will say that my personal favorite, being that I was raised on Cuban food, is picadillo. It's kind of like a ground beef hash kind of meal with like peppers and raisins and well, I've never actually made it before. My abuelas made it, my parents have made it, but I've never made it. But you serve it on top of rice and it is delicious, and that's my personal favorite. But I just love Cuban food, so. But yeah, what's your favorite Latin dish? With that being said, I am going to go ahead and get those empanadas, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Wow, this empanada is so good. I am doing the empanada dance because this tastes amazing. Torrontés and empanada is my new favorite combo.
Calchaki. Thank you. Calcakey, the heck. Frickin' gringos. Whoops.